Hey, my name is Drew. Welcome to Overlake Student Ministries. We are creating a safe place where every student is loved, known, heard, supported, and challenged.
Loved, known, heard, supported, and challenged.
Hey, I'm Will, and here at SM, we make sure that every student is loved, known, heard, supported, and challenged.
Welcome to Group Life. My name is James.
My name's Connor. So good to see you guys tonight. Hope you're doing well. Tonight, we are wrapping up a series that we've been in the middle of called The Big Five. We've been going over these 5 words that we want to be as a ministry: loved, known, heard, supported. And tonight is Challenge, brought to you by none other than Jody B.
So tonight we have a little bit of a game where we are challenging one another in something that might be impossible. So check this out. Also, Jody is going to be talking about what challenge is and how we can step into that in our faith. And so be ready for small groups. It's going to be an amazing time.
And then you can do like a little side swipe.
Should we do a TikTok?
Welcome to our candle blowout. So here's how the game works is we're gonna see whose lungs are the strongest. The first person that blows out their candle while being masked up, then relights it and blows it out a second time, wins. So go ahead, drop in the chat, who do you think is gonna have lungs of steel? I don't know. Who do you think is gonna win the game? Okay, ready? Ah! Set, go. Woo! No!
You're gonna burn your hair.
Why can't I get it a second time? Okay, James wins. This is hard. All right, and as you can see, it's time to announce the winner. So let's put James on his appropriate spot on the podium.
Wow.
First place.
That game was lit, as you can see. And it was an amazing challenge. Who knew if it was even possible? But now we have Jody sharing with us what it's like to be challenged in our relationships.
Woo!
Woo!
Sweet. Hey friends, tonight we are talking about our 5th and final word that identifies who we want to be in student ministries, and that is challenged. So when I think about being challenged in middle school, I think of sleepovers with my friends playing truth or dare, or I think about how guys would sit in class trying to give each other these rug burns by going through this motion over and over and over again. And then when I got to high school, the challenge became, how long can I sleep past my alarm without being late to school? Or how can I get this guy to know that I like him without experiencing rejection? So what other challenges are there that you've experienced? What am I missing? Go ahead, drop those challenges in the chat. When we hear the word challenge, we know it can be risky and even painful. But do we ever think that challenge can be good? You see, sometimes we don't embrace the challenge because it feels too big or we have a hard time seeing how we benefit from it down the road. It's hard for us to think about how things right now impact our future. We want to know the outcome before we say yes, but that's what makes it a challenge, right? So think about some of the bravest people in history, people like Rosa Parks or the late John Lewis. They faced tremendous challenges to be activists for the Black community in a time where no one was advocating for them. And here's what I love and admire about these individuals who I continue to learn from today. They knew who they were and what they were worth. This kept them grounded in saying yes to things when they didn't know what would happen next. And this leads me to the first truth I want you all to hear tonight. I think some of the best people we learn from are living out some important truths. And the most important truth you need to know is found in Genesis 1:27. So God created human beings in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. See, the truest thing about you and truest thing about me, truer than anything else you might ever hear or believe, is that you are created in your Creator's image. And that means good is within you. Now, this might not sound profound to all of us, But how many of us are living as though good is within us? I think about heroes like Rosa and John and how they left legacies because they knew and believed this truth. They knew they were good when very few people treated them as though they were created in the image of their Creator. And now I want you to let that sit. I don't want you to forget it. And I want it to stay with you because it matters. It matters so much. See, the passage I want us to glance at tonight is in the Gospel of John. And it's written about Jesus as he first begins his ministry here on earth. Jesus knew that people were ultimately good. And why does that matter? It matters because it served a larger purpose. He invited them into something. So let's take a look at John chapter 1, verses 36 through 46. John the Baptist, who is basically a pastor, is standing with two of his disciples and sees Jesus walk by. And John exclaims, "Look, there is the Lamb of God." When John's two disciples heard this, they followed him. Jesus looked around and saw them following. "What do you want?" he asked them. And they replied, "Rabbi," which means teacher, "where are you staying?" "Come and see," he said. It was about 4:00 in the afternoon when they went with him to a place where he was staying, and they remained with him for the rest of the day. Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, was one of those men who heard what John had said, and then he followed Jesus. Andrew went to find his brother Simon and told him, "We have found the Messiah," which means Christ. And then Andrew brought Simon to meet Jesus. Looking intently at Simon, Jesus said, "Your name is Simon, son of John, but you will be called Cephas," which means Peter. And the next day, Jesus decided to go to Galilee. He found Philip and said to him, "Come follow me." Philip was in Bethsaida, Andrew and Peter's hometown. And Philip went to look for Nathanael and told him, "We have found the very person Moses and the prophets wrote about. His name is Jesus, the son of Joseph from Nazareth." "Nazareth," Nathanael exclaimed. "Can anything good come from Nazareth?" "Come and see for yourself," Philip replied. So why are we here? Why is this important? I actually think it's most important to his ministry and to what led to the way of the early church, and it is this. This is the second point I want you to remember tonight. Jesus invites us to participate, and it just requires one step at a time. See, there is an invitation to participation. In this short passage, there are 6 people who start following Jesus, and they didn't have a clue where they were going or what was going to happen next. These disciples didn't know what was ahead for them. For some of it was going to be hard, but it was also going to be life-changing. They were invited to come and see, and they said yes, and they took one step not knowing what it would look like next. And the same is true for us. God is giving each of us an invitation to participation in the work of building his kingdom. He's inviting us to use the good that's inside of us to share it with others so that they can experience his goodness, which is the best gift that we can receive. The disciples didn't know all that they were going to be a part of when they said yes. They didn't even understand fully what they were being invited into, but they took a step. Their yes left a legacy. As they said yes, they too discovered who they were and what they were worth. Peter didn't know he was going to start the early church when he said yes. And here is your challenge tonight as you head into small group. Will you participate in the work of God by living into the good that is within you? The reality is that you are here tonight because someone at some time invited you to participate. Maybe it was your parents, maybe it was a friend from school, maybe it was your small group leader. But what we experience here in student ministries is because we at one time were invited and we said yes. So will you say yes to the invitation to participation? And what does that next step look like for you? So we're going to head over into small group. We're going to talk about those things tonight, and I can't wait to hear about what discussion happens. We'll see you next week.